All right, Matthew Holt, the question of the day. Does 25 people leaving a several hundred person company really count as a mass exodus? Let's find out. It's the June 7th episode of Health Tech Deals.
Jessica DaMassa, are you talking about Erin Baldwin writing in Business Insider, having a bit of a go at our friends at Olive again?
The second go. I mean, she
must have something. She must have something, because the second article is like a bunch of people are leaving, and last time was the customers were overpromised, and there are companies clearly in the space who are struggling. We mentioned Cerebral last week. Carbon Health laid off a whole bunch of people. We know there are clearly problems with a lot of valuations going around. The last time I checked, Olive said it had a bunch of customers and they were all hooked in, and we shall see. But it's a bit weird. We're getting like, things are imploding was one of the quotes. And, you want a bit more than that. I hope Erin's got something, will share it with us. Or maybe things are imploding in general, but otherwise things are going along okay otherwise, or who the hell knows. We do know they took in a whole bunch of money they haven't spent yet.
I mean, things are imploding. Here all the time.
It's startup world. Things implode all the time. Sometimes they explode. Sometimes they, never recover, and we know all that. But all right. Okay. Well,
I'm happy that we're the health tech deals. They're also health tech deals, but we're the health tech deals that doesn't have a personal issue with Olive at all.
Oh, I have personal issues with plenty of people. I'm sure you do too. But in this case, I'm still waiting for the there there. The there there.
You're waiting for the there to be there?
Something like that.
Okay, set your timer.
Right, let's go to some deals.
Hey, guess what's back? More than $100 million funding round. Oh yes, Aledade gets $123 million, brings their total up to $417. Omers led this $3 billion valuation. What do you think?
Wear a bow tie, you will go far. Although the last couple of times I saw Farzad Mostashari, the CEO, he was not wearing a bow tie, so maybe that's the difference. Interesting, right? They hired Mandy Cohen. I had an interview with him and her. Mandy Cohen from ex-HHS and ex-North Carolina HHS, who's building new stuff. This one, they say they're going to do more Medicare Advantage. They say that they bumped revenue to $300 million, which is quite a lot, because don't forget, they're not a medical group. They're managing and helping medical groups. There are plenty of medical groups that are in the sort of 2 to 3 billion range who probably don't have $300 million in kind of management fees. I wonder how much money passes through their groups. So they're doing well. I'm a little surprised that the valuation has gone up so much, given that all the other medical groups and medical group lights, like the one owned by Bright and your friends at Oak Street and everybody else and One Medical, have plummeted since their last valuation. But Omers, this must be Chrissy Farr. She must be feeling very, very nice and decided to bump up their valuation. But it's definitely a very interesting company. It puts together individual doctors into an ACO, had very effective results, and it's great people running it. So good luck.
Tripp gets 11 million, brings her total up to 26. This is a B for them. I love this psychedelics.
Yes, we're teeny investors in this. Don't tell anybody. It's a VR platform that basically helps you meditate, kind of do a psychedelic thing to deal with mental health and stuff. It's going to go alongside psychedelics, and big future in this one, we hope.
All right, Socially Determined. Our friend Trenner Williams gets 22.7 million, brings her total up to 38.
Yeah, this is an analytics company doing social determinants of health stuff to help health plans and others figure out how to better spend their money in that area. They've spent a while putting it together. This is a big round for them. Hope it works. This comes from Brian Dolan, by the way. We have to trust him.
Yes. Digital Diagnostics, they get 46 million. Brings their total up to 98. And this is cool. It's like AI detection for skin cancer.
So this is another one we have to trust Brian Dolan from, because he said it's happened, and it's both Socially Determined and Digital Diagnostics are in Crunchbase too, so it must be true. We don't know who the rounds are for either one of them. So this is interesting, right? There's been a ton of companies trying to do kind of take a photo of your zit or your mole or your pimple or your skin cancer, send it off to either doctors or to an AI thing or some combination of the above. Google's been in this. bunch of others, First Term and a number of others have done this. None of them are really broken up from the pack. And these guys are going to raise another 40 odd million, 46 million here. They've raised nearly 100 million overall. And theoretically, they can, use this thing called DermSpot to help you out. I'm looking forward to seeing one of these things break out from the pack because so far they haven't. And but that's a lot of money for these guys. So they must know something and must have something going on that we don't. The one thing that I did hear from some of the early guys is that when you were trying to charge people for it, a lot of people would use the AI and have a guess, but when you actually asked them to pay money, it was a struggle to get them to actually, pay up the $20 or the 20 euros or whatever it was to actually get your skin cancer, your mole assessed as whether it was going to be benign or kill you. So I put a picture of a tick in my wife's back on Facebook. I got lots of responses. Is that kind of the same sort of thing?
I was going to make a cute joke about how this AI skin cancer detection space is spotty, but okay, we'll go with,
your joke was good. My statement was just disgusting.
Kick in the back, like that's really gross. That's super gross.
By the way, I found out, I put it on Facebook. The tick died and I flushed it in the sink. Apparently you're supposed to keep the tick, put it in a plastic bag. You can send it off to a company who will analyze it and figure out whether the tick had Lyme disease in it or I don't know, something. Costs $300. Sounds like a lot for a.
You're like, I'll just wait and see if you have the Lyme disease, sweetheart. Like, what are you doing over there? We'll take our chances.
Wasn't my back. I did the surgery for free.
Children, Matthew Holt.
Oh, by the way, we referenced it a couple of times. Brian Dolan came out with his exit and outcomes today. Normally comes says, I've got a bunch of funding things you've never heard of. They're like $200,000 here, $100,000 there. This time it's like millions and millions, right? Yeah. Digital Diagnostics. There are 2 or 3 others we're waiting on confirmation from, but what's going on? So all the deals that Alyssa Jaffe said were happening, just no one knew about them other than Brian.
Brian, I love the investigative journalism that we have in this space. Brian Dolan, Aaron Brodwin, Sarah Pringle, like all this stuff.
Brian just like is hanging out the SEC. I think when people put in their piece of paper, he has to he's somehow in the flow of getting it first. I don't know.
He's somehow in the flow. He's the guy opening the mail.
Probably is. He's probably in the mailroom. Do you remember that Michael J. Fox movie, The Secret of My Success?
No.
It is. The whole company, it's a massive corporation, run by the mailroom, and he ends up taking it. Okay, same sort of thing. No?
For more irreverent Michael J. Fox movie references, follow along with the big guy over there on Twitter. He is at Bolty Boy. And maybe friend him on Facebook if you want to see the tick in his wife's back every once in a while. That's terrible. Awful. For normal things, I'm at Jess and I. My big post today was an interview I did with Lee Shapiro talking about the future of the health tech investment space.
Mostly talking about how he taught Glenn Tillman everything he knows.
He taught Glenn everything he knows.
He is to blame for a lot.
I mean, throw those 7-wire guys under the bus. And Alyssa, oh my God.
Right. And what's the last thing we have to say before we go?
The last thing we have to say before we go is that you should sign up for the email newsletter over there at thehealthcareblog.com, where you will get the best of the blog delivered into your inbox whenever we feel like sending that sucker out. And there's also a promo code there to register for AHIP, which is going to be in a couple weeks in Las Vegas. It's the big health plan meeting, and you get $100 off your reg fee if you put in code THCB.
Beautifully done. By the way, Olive is having a party at AHIP, which I might invite you to. Assuming they can foot the drinks bill, which I think they probably will be. They must have a few $100 million left to pay for our drinks.
I mean, the hiring freeze is on, but the booze freeze, not yet. We'll see.
When the booze freeze happens, then we know the whole thing.
When they sell the bus, that's when I'm going to be a little bit concerned.
When the bus disappears. We'll see. If the bus isn't there, do we start the gossip room? I don't know.
I think we might have to. All right, guys. We'll see you at AHIP, and if not, we'll see you next time. Bye.